Welcome everyone to Hillcrest Connects, where we briefly want to share with you what it means to meet together as we catch a glimpse of what God is doing in and through our congregation. Today we have with us Jamie Deibert. She is a member of our church as well as part of the worship ministry and plays the keyboard. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
So can you share with us what COVID-19 has been like for you and how it's affected your family life?
COVID-19, I think, has affected me in several big ways. I would say my work life has been affected. I'm a piano teacher. Life at church has been affected. Access to services and also family life has been affected. So there's been quite a lot of changes, I feel. I think one of the biggest things, because I spend quite a few hours teaching piano today, has been the change to my work and my routine there. And I've had to change all my piano lessons to online lessons. And that was, luckily I did it over about 3 weeks. And so it was a lot of work transferring students to being online instead of in person in studio. And it was a big learning curve for me. I am not really tech savvy, and it was a big learning curve for the parents too. And I think also just the adjustment for the students, because I'm used to having those little kids and teenagers with me in the studio, person to person, and you can interact and you can care for them, and they know they're going to come to a lesson knowing that someone loves them and is going to spend 30 or 60 minutes with them, giving them their full attention and care, and that you can show them they're important and that they're good at something. And so to take that online and to try and translate those same things to them online is just not the same. It's hard to show the expression. It's hard to get information across, and it's harder to care for them when they're online. And yet I'm glad my students are still taking, because it does give them something consistent in their life. A lot of my students I've had for up to 10 years, and so I'm a familiar adult face for them, and I hope that in a time where things are changing with them all around, even though it's an online lesson, it's something that is consistent and meaningful in a way that everything else has changed. So that's been a big adjustment, I think. I see some of the students too, they're starting, some of them are fading like little flowers, just the online stuff is affecting some of these little kids. I had one who, I was going to say, hey, we're going to have an online piano recital, and she just shook her head. And her mom said she's had so much online stuff, she can't handle it anymore. And so I see how the COVID is affecting these kids, and you do your best through a screen to show that you care, but it's harder. So, and some of them, on the other hand, are doing better because they have nothing to do, and so they're practicing piano very, very hard, and it's kind of neat to see that blossoming also.
So share with us how it's affecting your family.
I think for family life, my life is very quiet, so our routines haven't changed very much. But I think what it's done is made me realize, like, when I'm trying to get something done, say prepping for piano lessons or doing a job or something, and there's two young adults and a teenager in the house, and all of a sudden they're free to talk to me because they're home all the time. And for me, it's just really being mindful that these are special moments, that they're home, and that I need to just stop whatever I'm doing and take the time to talk with them, or take the time to share whatever they want to show me. Because this kind of quiet time, in a way, I know it's a lot of suffering and a lot of grief for people, but it's also a time to just stop being so busy and to take those special moments and don't miss them. And I think also for my family life, another thing that's been more difficult is access to services that we take for granted. Usually, you can go out there, you can access a dentist, you can access all kinds of people, and now those services that we just thought were always going to be there aren't there. My one daughter just in February had surgery on her knee. She had torn her ACL, and she did she's in film and video studies, and she did a little documentary on how COVID-19 had affected her. And it was about how thankful she was that she had the surgery when she did, because people now have to wait. She said she would be waiting for at least a year to repair that knee. And she managed to have one session with a physiotherapist, but now access to physio, all the clinics are closed. And so she's been very blessed to be able to access physio online. But again, it's not the same. And even I had a member of my family chip his tooth, and a big chunk kind of came off. And generally that would be nothing. You would go to the dentist, but now dental work again is, well, maybe in 2 months that'll be something we can access, maybe in 3. I guess another thing is access to specialists. I have one daughter who has chronic health issues, and just being able to access those doctors when you need them too, and medications is harder. It's harder to do some of these things and get some of the care that usually we're just so used to getting, and it makes you so thankful to think about what we have here in Canada, our normal life, and when we're missing something, you didn't really realize how blessed you were until it's harder to get.
So you've lost some things, you've gained some things. What would you say, or what could you say to your church family from your experience, what you're dealing with? What can you say to encourage them and to build them up and help them through this period?
I think it was about a week ago, I kind of felt like God was saying something to me. And, you think of this COVID-19 pandemic as something that you just have to get through, like, okay, we're going to get through it. But God just kind of stopped and said, look, I made this day on purpose. I didn't make these days for you to get through, but I made these days so that you can help the people around you, who you come in contact with, who you need help. I made these days so you can learn and grow. I made these days so that you can see the gifts that I give you, because I try and spend my days looking for God's gifts, whether it's the first ladybug in the spring, or whether it's just seeing a friend, or a smile, or my kids wanting to interrupt me and talk to me. I just feel like God wants us not to waste these days, but to accept them, because He made them on purpose, and He let this happen, and there's purpose and meaning, even for the people who are suffering greatly in this. And He doesn't want us to waste them and just get through them, but to see the opportunities and to see what we can be doing in His service.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jamie. Thanks for coming in and sharing time with us. We appreciate it. And thank you for joining with us. To stay connected with us, if you haven't already, we encourage you to sign up on Realm, follow us on our social media sites, and you can always find us at hillcrestchurch.net.